Welcome! Today we're going to be going over some Final Cut Pro basics. To get started, if you haven't already, let's create a new project by going to File, New, and then Project. Enter a name, choose an event if you need to, and then click OK. Your project will appear in the browser on the left-hand side of the screen. In order to open your project, double-click on it. Once it's open, you can see the timeline in the bottom, the browser on the left, and the Properties panel on the right. On the bottom right is where you'll access your effects and transitions. In order to add media to your project, go to Import, the little down arrow in the top left of the screen. This will open a new window where you can navigate to your media wherever it is on your computer. Select whatever media you want to import, and then once you have everything selected, click on Import Selected in the bottom right. The media you just chose will appear in the browser on the left-hand side of the screen, where you can preview it and play through it by clicking underneath it. If you only want to import a portion of a clip, select that portion in the top left of the browser. Once you have what you want, you can just drag it down onto your timeline. Notice that it snaps to the left-hand side of the timeline. This lower space is called the timeline. It's where most of your editing is going to happen. In order to add more content to the timeline, just drag it down like you did before. If you hold it close enough, it'll automatically snap to the media that's already in the timeline. Be careful not to overlap images or video because you won't be able to see part of it. Move through the timeline using the playhead by clicking and dragging, or just clicking where you want it to go to. Images behave very similarly to videos, and you can add them the same way, just by dragging them down into the timeline. In order to change the time that media is on the screen, you can drag the ends in either direction. Notice that you can't make videos any longer than they already were, but you can make them shorter. Images, however, can be made as long or as short as you want. In order to smooth the changes between clips and images, we use transitions. Over on the right-hand side is where they should be, but notice that right now all we see are the effects. In order to switch to the Transitions pane, go to Window, Show in Workspace, and click on Transitions. Notice that the Transitions pane is now on the bottom right, where the effects used to be. There are all kinds of useful and fun transitions to choose from. Find one that you like, and drag it onto the timeline, positioning it between media that you want to transition between. This can be videos and videos, videos and photos, or any combination thereof. In order to play the video, just click the play button under the preview window in the center, or press the spacebar. Playback will start from wherever the playhead is in the timeline. These transitions can go wherever you'd like, including before and after clips, as shown here. There are many ways to edit the color and visuals of your content. To start, we will have to switch back to the Effects pane by going to Window, Show in Workspace, and clicking Effects. Notice that the Transitions pane has now been replaced by the Effects one. The tab that we're concerned with right now is called Color. These all apply different color effects to your images and video. Choose the content that you want to manipulate in your timeline, and note that simple color adjustments can be done by going to the top right Properties pane. Click on the small triangle shape to get to color settings. By clicking through these tabs, you can change how the media looks, namely its tint, saturation, and exposure. These allow you to make large changes to how your videos and images look. You can change their coloration, how bright or dark they are, and how exposed they are, simply. This Properties panel also allows us to edit the video or image's physical properties by clicking on the small film icon in the top. From here, your content can be translated to the left, right, top, or bottom. It can be rotated, scaled, and repositioned. To apply more complex effects, you can use the menu choices from the Effects pane. Hovering over them will show you a preview, and they can be dragged and dropped onto the media in your timeline. To edit the effects parameters, revisit the Properties panel on the top right. You'll note that the effects you've applied to that clip will now appear. The sliders in the Effects Properties will change its intensity, which is how much it changes the media, and individual unique parameters for each effect. The checkbox in the top left toggles the effect on or off. To add titles and other text to your video, choose the third small icon in the top left. This lets you see the many title templates available. Hovering over a title will show you a preview. To add one to your video, just drag it down onto the timeline, like the transitions and effects. Notice that these can either go in your video, like the transitions, or above them to make them appear above or in front of your media. This specific title will appear in front of your media, so long as you stack it in the timeline. To edit the title's look and appearance, go up to the Properties panel and choose the tab with the parallel lines. Here, you can edit its text, font, and more. There are also many flashier titles, which incorporate your media into them in various ways. For these ones, it's particularly important to put them above the media to be included, or they will just appear blank, as in the example above. To fix this, just place the title on top of the media you want to go inside it. To add audio to your video, go to the middle tab above the browser. Here, you can get access to a number of free sound effects, get access to your own music, or pull audio from other programs. To actually add audio to your project, just find what you want, the search bar is very helpful, and drag it down into your timeline. This time, make sure that it goes below your other media. Once you're finished with your project, export it by going to the very top right corner. Click on the arrow and select Master File from the list of options. Here, you can edit your project's file name and some of the data that it will carry with it. These can be ignored and will default to good values unless the resolution is wrong. Once you're all set, just click Next. Choose where to save your file and give it a good name. To finish and export, click Save. In the very top left, click the small circle to view your export progress. This tells you what the program is currently working on and how close it is to finishing up. Once the export finishes, a QuickTime video will pop up. This is your video and means that it has been saved wherever you chose. That's everything. Have fun exploring and have a wonderful day.